And good evening, everyone across the world. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hope you're well. Hope you're fine. Welcome to Pitch Points to review a brilliant game of football. Today, the Champions League, City versus PSG. Second leg of the semi-final of the Champions League. It doesn't get bigger than this. The only bigger game is the final. Arguably, the second leg of the semi-final is probably even a bigger game because of the intensity that's involved. But what a game. What a game. Really just an amazing game. I have with me here a good mate from all the way from England, an Everton fan, a friend of the show who always joins us. Welcome, Carl, the Lone Toffee.
Hello, mate. Hey, you must be ecstatic. I made a joke on another channel. I said, imagine if PSG scored inside the first minute, and then until the 90th minute, there's 10 minutes added on, and PSG get a penalty and they miss it. It's had that bit of suspense, but what can you say? It's typical Pep. He controls the game so well, and you said it yesterday, Carl. Pep's problem's always been getting to the final. It's not really the final; it's getting to it. And that's for me, you can argue he scored more goals, but that's the greatest, for me now, the greatest performance from Pep Guardiola when it comes to game management and control of the game. That's the way you set up, the way you played the ball. Everything was good today. There was not one bad thing from City. Everything was the right way to play. And a great win.
It's interesting you mentioned that because yesterday or day before we had a show. I think we had a show yesterday or was the day before yesterday? Yesterday. We talked about moments in the game. And I mentioned something to Carl, to the group. I said that Edison was going to have a massive impact on this game. Remember that comment I made?
Yep.
Edison was going to have a massive impact
you did.
on the game. We'll talk about that in a minute. But when you saw the lineup, when the team sheet came out, you heard that Mbappe was missing, and you saw that Fernandinho was coming in. How did you feel as a neutral about the team sheet?
I think when Mbappe didn't start, that shocked me because I thought Poch is the guy, like we saw it at Tottenham, if you remember the amount of times Kane was injured, he played him. And I don't know if you watched the PSG game the other day, Mbappe was playing, and he just didn't look the same. And I had the fear he was injured, and even in the first leg, you could just see, just wasn't on it. And I think it's one of them. I think the minute you saw Mbappe off the pitch, I think that was just, it was, you couldn't really see where PSG was going to get that goal from. Because I don't think Neymar, for me, Neymar's he's not like Mbappe. He's not a goal scorer. He's more of a creator. But when I saw City's lineup, I was happy to see Fernandinho as a neutral because I think in these kind of games you want to see Fernandinho over Rodri in that position because I think Fernandinho's more disciplined and he's more, more composed, I'd say, in game than Rodri. And I think Rodri, he gives the ball away, I think, a little bit too much. And in this game, you have to be compact, composed. And I think it was the right lineup from Pep, and I think, to be honest, it was the right lineup from Poch, other than Florenzi, in my opinion. But I think for me, it was just one of them. It was a great game of football, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So when I saw that, when I woke up this morning, and I saw a lot of fans, legacy fans, and they deserve this. This is all for them. I think this getting to the final of the Champions League is for all the suffering they've suffered over the years. So it's all for them. And I mentioned that in the tweet this morning. I woke up this morning. I felt confident that, this side may not be a free scoring side like the 17-18 season or the 18-19 season, but this side is a controlled side, a mature side. They know what they're doing. They haven't lost a game, in the whole Champions League this year. They only drew one game. They know that this competition is for the taking. And so I saw the lineup. I was pleased to see Fernandinho in the game. I thought that he was going to come in after the Palace game when he came up at 60 minutes. I think we needed him in the lineup because of his shithousery, the way he can create fouls. And, you saw the red card from Di Maria, right? I mean, the way he basically instigated Di Maria for that red card. And I was happy to see Zinchenko. I don't think we need a left back. Really, I don't think we need a left back. Because think about Zinchenko's performances against Liverpool, against Chelsea, against United, now against PSG, both 1.5 legs. You go buy another left back for what, 50, 60 million?
That's a great point, mate. It's we spoke about, haven't we, Carl, about transfers, and we've said it before, haven't we? We even said it last year before, I was coming on the channel. I said to you, didn't I? With the coronavirus pandemic, clubs are going to be going after their number one target. They're not going to go after third, fourth targets because you can't clubs haven't got that amount of financial freedom this time because of coronavirus. You've seen it with United. They wanted Sancho and they didn't get him. City, it looks like City want Haaland. And are you going to really, put Haaland on hold for the left back when for me Zinchenko's been the third best left back for me? Because Luke Shaw, I think Luke Shaw's had a good 3 months. Yeah. And he's slipping off now, where Zinchenko's been consistent since he's been playing for City. For me, I think the best left back in the league's Digne. And I think, for me, let's be real, Digne's going to cost, 80 to 100 million. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to go for Robertson. You're not going to go for Luke Shaw. In world football, it's too much, and you don't need to. Like, why go out and waste 100 million when you've got, or 50 million when you've got a left back who's doing a great job? Maybe you might need a young left back, because we've seen with Benjamin Mendy. Is Benjamin Mendy really, the backup left back City probably wants? For me, no, I don't think Pep really has much faith in Mendy anymore, because let's be real, whenever Mendy plays, how many times you got exposed? The Chelsea game, you got exposed. The Leeds game, you got exposed. You could argue even Palace, he was getting exposed. He's not the player you could argue he wasn't 17, 18, is he really, Mendy? But yeah, I would say I'd find it a bit silly if City bought a new left back, because Zinchenko, this is the best he's ever looked for me at Manchester City.
Well, it begs a question, and Ty just said, congrats. Hey, Ty, you want to join us? You have the link. I don't know if I sent you the link or not, Ty, but you're welcome to join us if you can. Let me send you the link so you can join us. Just 1 minute. Copy this, put it into my chat, send it to Ty, and he should be able to join us if he's available. He may be at practice. His son is a really good footballer. He plays for the academy team for DC United in the US. He's a center back. He's a really good player. So, Ty, I sent you the link. You can join us if you want to join us on the show today. It really begs a question, right? I mean, you have Zinchenko, who's played big games. I mean, really big games, and has really showed it that he can actually own that position. And I respect the lad, right? He was supposed to be sold to Wolves, was supposed to be sold to Napoli, even to Inter Milan, and he showed his mettle by sticking to it. Mendy can be an alternative. Even Cancelo can play as an alternative. I think we need to use the money for a number 9 striker or somebody else. So he deserved the spot today. I thought he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So those two didn't shock me. I respect Pep for not changing our lineup, for sticking with the false 9. I think it works for us. It's really interesting that he played that again. Any surprises for you? Who else did you see that on the sheet that surprised you, or were you happy with what you saw?
I think for me, as you know, Carl, I root for most British clubs because I think it's better for Britain. Obviously, I wanted PSG in a sense to win because I think it stops, obviously, that agenda fans have pushed forward. But if it was out of City or PSG, I'm going to pick City because, I've got some close friends, you, Martin, who are City fans, Chris, Ryan, a lot of good friends who are Man City fans. And when I saw the lineup, when I saw the team, and when I saw everything with City today, it was, this may be going off topic, not even, with the question you asked, but it's the mentality difference, I think, today. In previous years, that mentality block of, we're good in the league, but in the Champions League, why, the formation. I don't think you've ever played a formation in the Champions League that you've played all season. I don't know if that's true, but I saw a start with a thing where Pep Guardiola has changed the formation every single Champions League game he's been knocked out of. Which, when you look at that, that's madness. But let's be real, that's that false 9. Do I think it's great permanently? No. I think it's a good temporary 1 season, 2 season thing.
I don't agree though, Carl. Here's why I say I don't agree. Right, the greatest ever team to play the game, in my opinion, was Pep Guardiola's Barcelona team, and they didn't have a striker. Right, this is kind of, if you're going to play total football, right, the number 9 is a distraction, in my opinion. Right, I mean, Pep has played it. Aguero, we played Jesus in previous years, and we didn't get to the final. He's played a false 9 throughout the whole qualification, the knockout phases, and he's got to the final. That tells you that, in my opinion, the evidence points to the fact that for the system that he plays, maybe the false 9 is probably the best way to go about it if you can keep control of possession. Because Barcelona under Pep Guardiola was Messi, Villa, and Pedro. And the Messi is phenomenal, but Messi played a false 9. He wasn't a traditional striker. He had Eto, Villa. Okay, Ty just joined us. He had Eto. He had what's his name? Zlatan. Got rid of them. So maybe for the way this guy plays, and you can see Tuchel, for example, playing the false 9. Maybe football is evolving into a false 9 with possession, quick passing, and then control. It won't surprise me. Look at today, at PSG with the number 9. Look at Benzema struggling as number 9. So maybe football has switched a little bit. So
not just that though, Carl. I think, for me, I don't know, he is, Mauro Icardi. I think everyone has that opinion of him because he's a horrible footballer, and his attitude and the way he puts himself out there, it's a horrible. You get that opinion of Icardi that he's a horrible person. Do you know the way he acts and his attitude? But he's an incredible striker, and the fact that the 2 centre halves kept him out for the entire game is impressive because he's one of the best strikers for me. People have forgotten Icardi because he didn't play that much in his last season at Inter, and he's kind of been dropped from where he's keen. But when Icardi's a dangerous striker, he has an eye for goal, and the fact Diaz and Stones have now kept out the likes of Mbappe, Haaland, and Icardi from scoring, that's phenomenal. When you look at that, we don't talk about it that much. I don't think people are going to talk about it. You've kept out there 3 of the best forwards you could argue in football. Not to forget the likes of Thuram and Play from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Maybe not on the level of those 3, but Thuram and Play are phenomenal forwards. So they're 5 of incredible forwards that Man City have completely... it's not even had them players have had a sniff in the games as well. They haven't had a moment where they've been able to do anything.
Welcome, Ty. Ty, welcome to the stream. We're just talking about the game today, reviewing the game today. Welcome, bud.
Yeah, thank you. I was listening when I sent the link, so I got a few things. Congratulations again. It was a well-deserved win. Pep came out and did his thing, but I let you guys continue. I do have something to say about what Kyle was saying about Icardi.
Yeah, so let's welcome Martin from Man City Fan TV, or Martin Horsfield. He says, City need a new striker. Thanks, Carl, in bed listening for about after your train. Yeah, Martin runs a live watch along on Man City Fan TV, which Andy runs. So congratulations to you guys. I've said before that all the legacy fans, that one was for you. Thanks for joining. Ty, so what was your feeling about the game? Go ahead. I mean, you can join us.
I mean, I enjoyed the game. You know me. I've said a couple years ago that PSG is not going to win the Champions League anytime soon. So Kyle said something earlier about Icardi. This is proof of what I've told some fans, some Italian fans, Italian league fans, that Icardi does not belong in EPL. Shut it down today, couldn't do anything. He's a good striker for other, wouldn't fit in EPL. Same thing I said about Odado. Odado came, it was proven when he went to Tottenham. Is it the same type of striker? In those leagues, yes. In a less pacey league, less physical league, they will probably do something. Icardi hasn't really done anything in the French league. So he should find his way back to Italian league and, for him to extend his career. About what you said earlier about Pep and false 9. I think we've had this conversation before offline. Pep is great with false 9. It's not everybody that can do it, right? Because of the way City is set up, almost anybody can be plug and play and move out and still have success. Like, for example, I think I've told you this, I don't have much faith in Jesus. Jesus can go to other teams and struggle. But because it's in City, he can be successful. Trust me. We've seen that with Iheanacho. Iheanacho just picked after he left City 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And he just had the best 2 months of his life after 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And that's because the formation was changed where he's not really the main focal point. If you notice when Iheanacho comes in and is the main focal point, he struggles.
Yes.
So Pep is the kind of coach that he can use that false 9. His team fits that false 9. Yeah. You do need a 9, but you need a 9 like Aguero that can roam and make the run like a false 9, where he's not a top striker like Lewandowski that wants to stretch the team and stretch the back 4. So you do need a 9. It just depends on the style and the type of a 9 that you can get on your team. That would be the difference.
It's going to be Haaland, isn't it? Ty, it's going to be Haaland most likely. That's who I think. I think if City don't get Haaland, they're not going to go for a striker.
Listen, I want Haaland to come to EPL. I don't necessarily want him to go to City because he may struggle. Because Haaland is not an Aguero or a Suarez, right? Where they're perfect in the system because they play. Like, for example, if you struggle in a game where your striker is not getting the ball, you can't put Haaland to play 10. It's not going to work for him. He's just going to get frustrated and be shut out of the game. But if you're struggling with getting goal and you put a player like a Suarez, like a Kun Aguero, and have them play like a 10, position, they will fit in perfectly. So you have to know the style of a player, So that's just my opinion. And, and been watching the game for a while, again, to wrap up real quick, I think the game today was phenomenal. And I text you, I think I've been saying it for years. Neymar is not.
Let's talk about that, because Martin raises a good point here, and this is both to you and Kyle, and I'll chime in as well. So Neymar is not in top 3, totally overrated for me. He's a mad ass and wouldn't survive in the Premier League. Let's open it up. Let's talk about this guy, because what do you guys think? How do you react to that?
I disagree for that, because I think people look at Neymar and I think they get a wrong thing for him. And yes, he probably, you could argue he did choose one of the easiest leagues to go to, but it's Neymar's impact. Yes, they haven't won the Champions League, but Neymar has been vital to PSG's success and where they've got to in the Champions League. Their improvements in the Champions League last year, it was, you could argue, their main player in getting them into the Champions League final. And even in the league, he hasn't played that many games due to he suffered a really serious injury back in November. But to say this player is not top 3 or top 5 in the world, to me, I can't listen to that, because I think he is. I think what I've seen from Neymar, because I follow Neymar, not just of his, his stats, his goal scoring ability and his assist ability, just of what he brings, his quality on the ball, or the way he can just find an easy pass and make it look, he can put a ball that most players can't put through, yet make it look so easy. I've seen him adapt as a number 10 as well. Like, he doesn't just play on the wing for PSG, he plays as number 10, and he's phenomenal. Yes, he didn't have the greatest game today, but I think people look at Neymar and I think they look at him with the wrong perspective, and you've got to look what he does for Brazil as well. That man carried Brazil to the Copa America.
Ty, I mean, if Neymar were to come to the EPL, what team would he flourish in if he was to do well, given his style of play? What would he do?
Coincidentally, he would flourish in Tottenham or City, right? Mm-hmm. And I've said this before, Kyle, offline, that I'm not a big fan of Neymar, right? Mm-hmm. So Neymar I put him in the same category. He's a talented guy, no doubt. Mm-hmm. I cannot take anything away from his talent, right? But I put Neymar in the same boat as a Ronaldinho, as an Okocha, and some of those really, really talented players, but not effective. Right? Mbappe is a very effective player, but not as talented as Neymar. So it depends on what you want. Do you want a very, very talented player, or you want an effective player? For example, let's look at Lewandowski. Lewandowski is a very effective player, but not necessarily the most talented player.
Yeah.
So, who's this guy? Yaya Toure was an effective player, but not necessarily the most talented. He gets the job done at the best level. So I've said it before, I don't like Neymar on my team, right? And it's because he's got all this talent, but he can't really do much with it. And when it comes down to carrying the load of the team, he always fumbles. He does it with, on the Brazilian national team. The Brazilian national team was great. They won the Copa America without Neymar, right? But when Neymar was there, they struggled. So that's what I'm saying, that he's not an effective player. He's a great player, right? You look at Neymar and look at Di Maria. Yeah, Neymar is way talented than Di Maria, but Di Maria is so effective. The things that he can do, he helps the team, he helps you win. So that's just my opinion.
It's a great opinion. I mean, Carl, I'll come to you in a minute. It's a great opinion. So what you're saying is that, and I tend to agree with you, is that the way football is played now, it's about the sum of the parts, as opposed to one special striker. Back in the day, you had Messi, you had Ronaldo. I mean, has football now changed to, let's look at the collective? If everybody's an 8 over 10, you have a better chance of winning the game than somebody who's a 9 over 10 and everybody is kind of 6. Carl, what do you think about that before we move on to Mbappe?
Well, just over Neymar, just to finish it off, is I think you look at Neymar, I think people say, Ty said his overall effectiveness, but you look at it in the Champions League against just English clubs, he has 8 goals against English clubs, and he only played 5 English clubs or 6. He in these games he is doing things. It's just, I think people look at Neymar because he is put on the same stature and the same level as Ronaldo, Messi, these kind of players. And for me, I've watched this player since 2012, 2011. Even when he was in Brazil, I saw videos of him and I even watched games of him. This player does incredible things in a game. Even today, you saw him break the lines. You saw him make some good passes to Keane but you saw him. He was trying to make things work, but nobody was there. You could argue if PSG was starting Mbappe today, Neymar could have got 2 assists. He put a lovely ball into Moise Keane, and Moise Keane didn't jump for it. And then he even put a lovely ball into Icardi or into Herrera. I think that shot. And it was,
let's move on to Mbappe, but this kind of begs the question, right? What's PSG's strategy, Ty, is to buy Neymar and Mbappe. What happens when one gets injured and one doesn't perform? It all falls down, right?
Yeah, I mean, the problem again with Neymar is look at his turnover ratio, though, when he try to do too much. It's part of being effective, right? I mean, if you want to talk about Mbappe, I would have, if I was a PSG fan, I would have preferred having Mbappe than having Neymar because it's just so much more efficient, right? You know what it does. He's got pace, he's got speed, and you can't teach that. You can't compete with that. Ian Robin was like that for so long that he can only go to the left fast. But guess what? Nobody could catch him forever, and he made a career off of doing the same thing over and over and over. Say the same way with Mbappe. But Neymar, again, is a very, very talented player. If he has to lead a team, to answer your question, I will pick Mbappe over Neymar. Now, the strategy of PSG will only get them to do what they're doing, which is to win the league over and over again. All right, Kyle, you've known me for years now, and I've been saying it when I said it when PSG bought Neymar. I'm like, oh, everybody's like, oh, they bought them in Champions League. I'm like, not gonna win Champions League.
Yeah, you said it. Yeah,
it's almost 5 years now and they haven't won it, and the most they could do is to come close, which is last year. And it's the same issue. He can't really carry a team over. He needs other people. Like if they have one more superstar like a Messi, who's very effective with what they have now, it would be great. When it was in Barcelona, you had effective a striker, you have Messi, and he was not the focal point.
Yeah. Speaking about contracts, I mean, Mbappe hasn't signed his contract yet. And the reality is, here's the reality, Carl, is that his contract ends next summer, 2022. So if he doesn't sign by the August or September this year, he's a free agent. Come next year and December he can sign for free. PSG is not going to allow that to happen. So if the guy doesn't sign, he's going somewhere. We'll see what happens anyway.
I think it's, for me, it's obvious where he's going to go. I think it's probably Real Madrid, and if he doesn't go Real Madrid, for me, as much as it absolutely horrifies me that he's going to go there, I genuinely think he could end up at Liverpool. For the main fact, I just think if Mbappe went to Liverpool, I think that would be the most dangerous attack in the world.
Will Mbappe go to Liverpool? They're not in the Champions League because right now they're not going to be in the Champions League.
I know, but for me, I think even next season, I think we'll see. As much as I don't want to see it, I think the proper Liverpool will be back, and I think most players and most managers, most anyone in the game of football will probably know that it was probably not just an off season, but it was complete meltdown for them, and injuries and so many factors into it. But I think Mbappe's Real Madrid bound. I think he's a superstar. Like, it's very rare we don't, you see the world class players, but it's very rare that you see a superstar in football. Like this is the second coming of Ronaldo or Messi. Like this, we are seeing a superstar in Mbappe because the stuff that kid's done.
If Chelsea get Haaland and we get Mbappe, that'd be that would be perfect.
It's what he's achieved as well. He's 21, 22. He's been two Champions League final, Champions League semi-final. Yeah. He's won the World Cup. He's won every Liga title since he's been in France, even at Monaco. He scores an unbelievable amount of goals, even provides he really is incredible. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. Mbappe only wants one thing right now. That's to be the Ballon d'Or, right? And it's going to go to where he thinks is going to help him win the Ballon d'Or, which could be Real Madrid, Chelsea, City. I want to say Liverpool, but Liverpool's future is questionable because Klopp said he was going to take a break when his contract is over, which is I want to say in 2 years. Yeah. So I believe that if Zidane, who is a smart guy, and I believe is a very smart guy, will do anything and everything to get Mbappe because they lost Ronaldo and they still have room. Benzema is coming to an age where in the next 2 years he's going too deep. So if they don't get Haaland, they're definitely going to go for Mbappe.
I think the good thing is that we have Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, and the two guys who somebody's going to get them, right? Because Real Madrid can't get both of them. It ain't happening, right? They can't afford to get both.
No one can afford to get. I think both of them would be like it would be FIFA.
Right. So somebody has to get one and get the other, right?
Yeah, but imagine Mbappe at Real Madrid with a healthy Hazard.
Yeah, but then Haaland has to go somewhere else, right? So these two players are so phenomenal that they really have the world as their oyster. You know, Mbappe hasn't signed a deal yet. That's the issue right now. People are talking about Haaland. You know, but Haaland still has 2023 before his contract expires. Mbappe's expires next year. So by January, if he doesn't sign, he can sign for free. I mean, free. So no transfer fee. And when they paid 190 million euros for him, that ain't happening. Yeah. So something's going to happen this summer with this guy. Let's talk real quick about the moment of the match. So,
can I just finish the Mbappe thing off though, quickly, Carl?
Sure.
I think the difference between Mbappe and Haaland is when Mbappe signed for PSG, he saw that as his big move. Where if you notice Haaland's agents and even Haaland has kind of already come out and said that he sees Dortmund as a stepping club, and that's why he didn't go to United, because he wanted United to be a stepping club, and then he wanted to move on to a big club, and United didn't want to be a stepping club. Where Dortmund are quite proud to be a stepping club because they can make 50, 60 million profit and turn that into what they're like with youngsters.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about key moments of the match. I think yesterday when we did it with the Showtime, we talked about. I said it that Edison was going to have a key moment in this match.
Yeah,
I felt Edison's role was going to be magnificent. How about that? The pre-assist for the first goal, the Edison pinged. I mean,
my goalkeeper all year in my fantasy league has been Edison because I knew he one day he would get an assist.
The guy just
everything in that play was phenomenal, right? The pass back to KDB.
Mm.
See how much space KDB's got to get a good shot off. That's for me. I mean, Edison's pass was great, was phenomenal. The run down by Cancelo and to have he looked twice. You know, if you look, he picked into that space twice to make sure he got the right man running. And I'm sure the second time when he saw that it was KDB running, his eyes lit up and laid that ball straight back. You know. Yeah. But that play, I mean, that was fantastic. Mahrez kind of got lucky that he got a double nutmeg out of that shot. Yeah. But the pass from the goalkeeper and back to KDB was phenomenal.
It was, and that was Zinchenko playing the left back and playing
Zinchenko.
Playing high and wide. And there's similarities between the way City and Chelsea kind of play. I mean, that was Ben Chilwell. I'd expect him to also be there and make that run as well. Yeah. So I don't know. It looks like we're seeing a revolution of the game in terms of two styles, right? One is this total football, pass and move, high and wide, compact overloads, versus kind of counter-attacking football that Tottenham or United play. It's really interesting. And then you have the Bielsa, which is man-to-man football. It really is fascinating to see the English game bring out all these different kinds of football that we're all enjoying. The strength of the Premier League again, right?
And that's what I was telling some Chelsea fan. Like that pass that came from the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper,
yeah. If it was Chelsea, it wouldn't come from the goalkeeper, right? Because our goalkeeper is not that good with his foot. But it would have come from Rudiger or Thiago that can make those passes. You know, so that's the main difference that people don't see. Those passes would have come from Chelsea center back, not the goalkeeper. But the fact that the goalkeeper can make those passes and players can make that run,
incredible.
It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Absolutely.
I think it was smart from Pep though to play Zinchenko, because I think if you play Cancelo, I think Cancelo is defensively suspect in my opinion. I think out of him or Walker, I think in a game against this is no disrespect to Cancelo, because I think Cancelo has probably been, I know this is probably surprising, probably the best City player other than Diaz. He's been phenomenal, but I think we saw it in games where he plays at right back or left back, and he likes to push up or push into midfield, and you get just exposed and teams catch you on the counter. But for me, I think playing Zinchenko, and not just that, Pep, I had a feeling he would do it if he started. Pep definitely told them attackers and his whole team to go down Florenzi's side, because that Florenzi's, he's more of a winger instead of a wing back, and that he got exposed so much today, Florenzi. You know, and that ball from Foden to De Bruyne, like come on, Foden has no business doing that. You know what I mean? He's young. You know, no one his age should be putting balls like that.
20 years old.
Exactly. And then De Bruyne, to De Bruyne to put that ball for Mahrez, that's typical City. Pull back, boom.
I mean, when I think about England's chances in the Euros, we have, you know, Foden, you have, what's this kid from Chelsea? What's his name again?
Mason Mount.
Mason Mount. I mean, if Southgate doesn't win the Euros or get to the final, and he should be sacked. And I'm serious. I mean, I just, and you have Kane, you have, you know, Chilwell, you have Rice, you have Calvin Phillips.
It's the problem is though with these. The problem is we're in the same situation as England as we were 15 years ago when we had Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard. We've got an incredible midfield. But the problem is
this kid's on a different level.
Like you look at it realistically, the keeper, it's probably Pope or Pickford. The back lines, we play a 5-back. We don't play with 4. We always play a 5-back, and it's probably Trent at right back with Walker, Stones, Maguire. Then Chilwell or Shaw, and the 3 midfielders. For me, I'd rather have Henderson playing than most players, because I think Henderson doesn't have the quality of maybe of Declan Rice, but I think he has the leadership abilities. And then you're looking at who would you rather have, Foden, Grealish or Mount in the midfield. And for me, I'd rather have Grealish over Mount.
And Martin, please chime in here, right? And we're getting off topic, and we'll come back in a minute. But I really think that Foden should start over Sterling on the left side.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think based on the form,
Foden's more of a problem than Sterling. Sterling is for me. Sterling's great, but I think Sterling's easier to read than Foden, because Foden's.
You know why Sterling's easier to read? Because Sterling plays the right foot on the left side, so he has to get back in. With Foden on the left, he's unpredictable. He's better on the ball.
Not just that, Sterling's really, most of the time anyway, he's always struggled for England, because we have a player as a striker, which he can't play. Because he misses he misses too many sitters. And I think on the left, I think you're completely, taking away what his game is. But for me, I'd play Foden on the left, and I think the 3 midfielders would be Henderson, Jack Grealish, and I don't know who else would be there. But
wrapping this segment up real quick, we're hearing this. We're hearing this in the City camp that we think Sterling will be sold this summer. That's kind of what we're hearing.
Nobody wants him.
Sorry?
Nobody wants him.
We're hearing that this summer he may be sold.
Nobody wants him.
We'll see.
I agree with Ty. Like literally,
nobody wants him.
That's not disrespect to Sterling, but realistically, where does he fit in? Because
the problem with Sterling. Here's the problem with Sterling. Sterling is better on the right side because he gives the assist, and is better on the 1-1 on the right side. When you switch him to the left, which is not his natural foot, he struggles against fullbacks in the back 3 because he can't get past them. He has to cut back in, and he's not clinical enough. Well, he wants to get goals because he wants to get goals. So it's a struggle.
Kyle, whose system does Sterling fit in the top 6?
I mean, Tottenham.
That's
Tottenham. Oh, they're not top 6. I forgot. They're not top 6.
Liverpool.
Well, Tottenham doesn't have a permanent coach yet, so we don't even know what their style is.
Exactly. Liverpool. That's the only system he would argue fits into.
He doesn't fit in Liverpool. Arsenal, we get him, but he won't go to Arsenal.
I'd say Sterling fits into Liverpool, considering they are a counter-attacking side. I think Sterling's pace bring, but again.
Who are you going to bench for Sterling?
Exactly. The only one you'd bench is you'd move Salah maybe more centrally and play Sterling on the right.
Remember, he came from Liverpool. I don't think he's going back.
He's not going it. Not just that though. Let's be honest. We made that point before. Madrid aren't going to. Their main target's Mbappe or Haaland. They're looking for a superstar. Barcelona. I just don't think Messi would accept them, because let's be honest, Messi doesn't accept anyone. Well, it's just
so the best bet is to loan him out.
Martin, what if Martin Sterling goes to Dortmund and we use him as make weight for Haaland?
I couldn't see that. I think with Sterling, to be honest, I don't think you should sell him or get. I think you should still keep him, because I think he has a lot of qualities. But I think on the left, it's just pointless playing him on the left, because how many goals did he score though, Carl, when he was on the right? Remember when he was playing on the right and he scored like 30 goals? and then you moved him to the left. Let's be real. We've seen a decline in Raheem Sterling from, let's be real, he's 26, 27, and we've seen a huge decline.
Well, the problem is that he wants to play on the left side. He wants to invert, and he doesn't do well. He's not good enough on the ball to invert on the left side. And we compare him to Phil. Phil is basically taking a spot. And if he's not careful in England squad, Southgate's going to play Foden instead of Sterling.
Yeah, and not just that though, Carl. Mahrez has took a spot on the right as well. Or Bernardo Silva. So you're looking at it like, realistically, let's be real, 16 months ago, Pep played Sterling almost every single game. For me, the game that I think turned it for Pep was that Lyon game. Because you kind of can't rely on Sterling. For me, Foden's more reliable. We saw that when Sterling had to step up last season. He missed probably the easiest. It was harder to miss than score. And he absolutely scarred it.
Yeah, and Martin just made a great point. Who's going to pay £300 a week for Sterling in the top six? Nobody.
No one's going to do that. Not in these. So they'll probably keep him and use him as an alternative.
Is a depth on your bench until his contract runs out.
Yeah. Let's talk about our man of the match. We talked about the key moments. We talked about the lineup, how he felt. Man of the match. Carl, who was your man of the match?
Well, I have a different feeling with it. I have three, and surprisingly, I have four. Two of them for City and two of them for PSG, which is surprising, I know. But the two for PSG is Keylor Navas was, again, let's be real, without him, they wouldn't have got past the last game before they got to City. They wouldn't have got past Bayern, and let's be real, without him, it probably would have been 5 or 6. Like, he genuinely saved them today, and he saved them last week, and Marquinhos was phenomenal. Marquinhos he's just incredible, but for City, it's Ruben Dias and John Stones. Mm-hmm. They're the best centre-back partnership in world football. And I know that's controversial, but they really are. I think, you looked at it today, but I feel sorry for both of them because the amount of balls he took to the face was unbelievable. They just kept getting pelted in the face, but John Stones, I've seen this lad mature into a world-class centre-half, and I'm happy for him.
I love John Stones. I know you've already loved him from day one.
And Ruben Dias has been, like, I think people talk about him or Koulibaly. Dias has come into Man City and completely did what Van Dijk did to Liverpool. Yeah. Came in and let's be real, without him, would you still be in the same position? Because we saw what he was like before he came in.
Yeah, I mean, well, I watched his post-match interview, Ty, and I really enjoyed listening to the guy's a leader. I mean, for me, Fernandinho leads, the guy should be captain. He has that personality of a captain.
I mean, he's 23 years old. He's mature. 23
years old. And that's incredible. I mean, your son plays centre back. Your son is in the academy. He's a really good player. I hope your son is watching that guy to see how he plays, the way he carries himself.
Together. Yep.
It's just incredible. Who was your man in the match today?
I'm not gonna give a political answer like Carl did and pick like 3 players. I'll give you one for each. Man, it's tough. It's tough to pick one. I understand, Carl. But for me, for PSG, I have to go with Marquinhos. Without Marquinhos, that game could have been 4-0, 5-0.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper was great, but Marquinhos for me was the man of the match. For City, definitely, it's a tough one because obviously everybody would pick Mahrez, but I think Diaz was the man. Stone is close, but if I have to pick one because it's man of the match, it's Diaz for sure. And I want to add one more award. I want to pick Donkey of the Match. The Donkey of the Match goes to Di Maria. Yeah. That was stupid.
That was madness.
The second Donkey of the Match goes to Neymar.
Where did that even come from, though? Like, I was watching it, and then, like, I thought Fernandinho, it's because it had been snowing, I thought he'd slipped or something. And I was like, what's going on here? And then everyone just starts jumping about and running. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then people are starting to fight him. But actually, I think one point we've not raised is, well done to Fernandinho. That's shown the leadership of that man. When Verratti brought down, I can't remember who he brought down, Zinchenko lost his head. And you could have been looking at a possible red card there because he looked like his man. And I think he put in a late challenge just after that as well. But Fernandinho told him, and you could see Fernandinho was getting angry at him. And was telling him, calm down. This is not a game in the Premier League where we've won it. Next week doesn't really matter. This is a game where if you get sent off, we've only got 10 men and we're vulnerable because they can counter us and get. Even though it was late in the game, you could possibly cost us this. Brilliant leadership from Fernandinho, and that's why he's best captain.
Yeah, I tweeted during the game when this was going on with Zinchuk. I said, "Calm the f down. What the hell are you doing, man? Calm the f down." You know. but that red card from Di Maria. What is he thinking, Kai? I mean, what goes? Is it lack of oxygen that goes to the? What is he thinking?
No,
it's a big thing with cameras, and it's right in front of the camera. It's like right there. The camera is right there. What's he thinking?
So it's frustration, right?
Can't get the ball.
And what the announcer said, I forgot which one of them said it, that it's a Latin thing.
Yeah.
I understood where it was coming from. Even though, yes, you're on TV, you're not supposed to make that kind of statement. And he apologized for it, which I appreciate. I hope he doesn't get punished for it.
I hope
because what he said was truthful. If you ever play players from South America, you know, for anywhere from Honduras, El Salvador, all the way to Brazil, Chile, when the game gets to a point where they're losing because they're so passionate about it, they have the tendency to lose their head. Correct. When I used to play, I've gotten elbows and stepped on and all types of stuff, even spit out where I had to punch somebody in a game, you know, from players from that region. Yeah. So when you said it, just kind of clicked like, oh my God, he's so right. Yeah. And later on, he apologized.
Because I mean, right now, nowadays, you have to be very careful what you say and how you say it.
Exactly.
So I hope
it's true though. Like what you said, Ty, is 100%. Like if you remember a few years ago, I can't remember it was against. I think funny enough, I think it could have been City. I can't remember though. Barcelona was playing somebody. No, it was Tottenham in the Champions League, and Harry Kane was causing so many problems, and Vidal just slid in and just completely took him out the game. And that's it's true. Like even I can't deny it because we've got like 5 South Americans. I see James he loses his head quite a lot. He does dive a lot and he does put in some nasty challenges on players. Alan does it. Even Fernandinho though. If Fernandinho can't get the ball off you or if you're causing him problems, Fernandinho will go put both his feet into your legs. We've seen it. I think it was Villa last season. Grealish was absolutely having City's defence everywhere. So Fernandinho just went behind him. I think it's the way they learn as well in football, isn't it? Because it's different. And they are more passionate than I think most fans because it means a lot more to them, doesn't it? But it was a red, and for me, there's no excuses for that. Like that had malicious intent. Like I don't even care about frustration. Like you could see, he just didn't give a. He not even emotion on his face when he got sent off. He just walked straight down the tunnel, and I thought that was shitty from him, to be honest.
So for me, the man of the match for me was Diaz. I think close would have been Fernandinho, just the way he came in at 36 years old. 36 years old to play, that kind of game. I thought was immense. But guys, thanks for the review, guys. I want to keep this short to 45 minutes. Tomorrow's another big game. Chelsea, the other Blues down in London, have a big game tomorrow. Hopefully, they're also able to step through and get through to the final. And hopefully we see an all-European final, which should be interesting. And then on Thursday, we have the other competition, which United are probably through. And then Arsenal, maybe the Arsenal get through. I'm looking to see if they can get through.
Also, Roma's new manager got announced today, Jose.
Yeah, Ty's brother. It's not
that's madness, that Jose's gone there. I thought he would have went to like a bigger club.
But, you know the option they had, right? The option was between Sarri and Jose, and they picked Jose. 7 million, I think it's 7 or 7.5 million. So Jose's price has dropped from 16 to 7 million.
Jeez.
And they were picking between him and Sarri. Actually, as of last night, I think the news was going to come out that Sarri was going to be the new manager. And then all of a sudden, Jose got picked, which I think is crazy because they don't have the money. Buy players like Jose will want them to buy.
You know Jose very well. You've always talked about. You knew him as a manager, right?
Yeah.
What's his objective to win what with Roma? Because they don't have money. They're not going to make Champions League spot. They may not make Europa League based on where they are. What exactly is his goal and objective with Roma? He doesn't need the money.
The only thing they can do with Roma next year that would be considered an accomplishment would be probably to make top 4 next year and maybe get to the semi-final of the League Cup, right? Or try to win the League Cup so that at least he can say he wins something. He should have taken the time off. Really. Take the time off, go do some TV job, for a year or two and then come back with a fresh head and then start all over again, because Roma doesn't have, they have two young players that are potential because they haven't really bloomed yet. So they don't have, Roma doesn't have players that he likes. His competition is tough.
See,
I don't know why he would take the job.
I think another thing is I think it's, for me, I have two feelings on this. Is they have Mkhitaryan, which he fell out with massively at United, so that confuses me. But I see Jose doing very well, because I think that kind of the way they play in Italy suits his style so much, and it hasn't really changed since Jose left. It's still defensive, it's still counter-attacking style football. Because when you see managers that want to go there and play a lovely attacking footy, most of the time we struggle. Let's be real. You know, we saw Sarri. Sarri likes to play nice attacking football. He struggled over there. You know, we won the league, but, you know, looking at Juventus, it was awful. Pirlo has struggled a lot at Juventus. But, you know, I'm happy for Jose, and hopefully it works well for him, because I think, you know, it just didn't go well. I think he's done in England, but you never know.
Yeah, I just don't know how. I think it's taking time off. Take a year off.
I agree.
TV, you know, refresh. Think about what he wants to do, then come back to the game. He can't come back to England. Which top team is going to take him in England?
No.
You know, PSG. He's going to go to PSG. They don't like the kind of. He's going.
I thought he was going to go to Juventus if they sacked Pirlo. I thought that was the perfect job for him. But, you know, I think non-start, it looks like Juventus' owners, they're completely taking a stance on their club now, where because the Super League fell, just completely look like they don't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. Anyway, tomorrow's game: Chelsea versus Real Madrid. 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. UK. It should be a good game. I want to thank Ty for coming on. Ty, thank you for coming on, bro.
Thank you. Just got back from practice when I saw it, so I was watching.
Yeah, I know. I figured so. And the lone talkie all the way from Everton. We appreciate you again, and good luck in the game. Who are you playing this weekend?
West Ham.
Oh, that's a big game.
Yep. Well, probably the good thing is Decore's back.
That's a big game.
Decore's back. James. Well, we don't know on James because he got injured in the warm-up. But
what time is the game? What time is the game?
8 o'clock, I think, or 3. It's 3 or 8.
That's a big game.
Yeah, I think we'll win, but lose. I said it. We'll win. We'll beat Wolves, and then Sheffield United will get beat by.
Okay, lads. So till tomorrow, we'll catch you. Good luck to Chelsea fans, and we'll see you guys. Martin, thank you for joining. Lone Talkie Hub, thank you for joining. Chris, thanks for joining the show. It's been a good 45 minutes. Till tomorrow, we'll talk to you guys next time. Take care and God bless.